Dude, we've talked every day for basically the past 6 years, and like we've never actually seen each other in person, which is so wild. It's not personalized, you didn't even use my name, and I just basically berated him.
But I was broke. So I was like, I had money for my allowance.
And we were doing like at that point over $100,000 a month, and I was doing everything myself basically. Like, and so at one point, like you and Jiraj each were making like $15,000 to $20,000 a month, and you guys took that trip to what, Budapest?
What if Nick takes this as a betrayal, as a small betrayal? Rarely do ethics and a long enough time horizon deviate from performance.
Hey guys, so today I'm here with Stefano Mariani. He is the longest standing employee of Mission FX. I don't really refer to him as my employee though. I refer to him as a person I've worked with for the past 6 years. He lives in Rome, Italy. This is our first time ever meeting in person, and we figured we'd take the opportunity to just chat. So today we're just gonna chat. Stefan, nice to finally meet you, man.
It's a pleasure, brother.
How long was the flight
pleasure.
from Rome?
It's about 12 hours to get to Fort Worth.
It's a long time. And this is one of your first times as an adult being in the United States, right?
Yeah, well, it's probably as an adult, maybe like the third time, second time.
It's a lot different than Italy, huh?
It's completely different. It had so many beautiful things. It's very, very different. The roads are completely different.
Yeah.
In Italy, we have tiny cars. Here, it's completely different. It's huge cars. It's very nice. It's very nice.
100%, man.
I love it.
It's crazy, dude. We've talked every day for basically the past 6 years, and like we've never actually seen each other in person, which is so wild. So for those of you who have met Stefan before, if you've ever been a client of Mission FX, or ever sent us an email to our support email for our company, or ever done like an onboarding call if you were a client in one of our programs that we used to run, Stefan was the one, he's the Chief Operations Officer of MFX, of Mission FX. So he was the one that manages all that, and he still manages all that on the back end. He's basically like one of the backbones of the company, Stefan, and then one of our other employees, Jiraj. So dude, what has it been like working with me the past few years?
Amazing, bro. Amazing. Amazing. Like, it's been so interesting. Like, even from the way we met initially, like from the get-go, I could tell that this was, it's always been, you've always expanded my horizons as to what it means to work with someone, as to what it means to be part of an organization that actually cares about customers, that actually cares about people working in the organization. So it's always been so refreshing, so new, so different to what I'm used to what my friends do back in Italy. It's just so different, and it's something I could have never imagined. When we met when I was like 19. I didn't know that the possibility of working with someone in such a cool company could be so drastically different from what majority of people do. And it's always been amazing, man. It's like, I can only say good things about you, about Mission FX, about everything. Of course, I'm biased because I've been here for the longest time, but it's amazing. And it starts with you. It starts with the principles that you as a founder kind of transpire, and that extends to every realm and every little bit of what it is to interact with Mission FX as a stakeholder in general. So it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Like, I can give countless examples. Like from emails. Like, I remember emails. Initially, I thought of emails, like responding to an email is just, sure, let's respond to an email. But then your attention to detail, to really care about the customer. And I remember you would always say, make sure that in your replies, there's always this sense of let the person feel understood, feel cared for, feel like they're not just a number, not just an email that we have to get back to, but just like a person who has their struggles, have their dreams or ambitions or things, and they're coming to us to improve their lives in general. So let's make sure that it's an experience that is curated from the beginning to an end. This same thing with sales calls. I remember in sales calls there was zero. There were not targets. There weren't like sales targets. Hey, we need to hit these targets
Yeah.
this month, and you need to close at this percentage. There was none of that. There was zero pressure towards it. So that way we could really focus on trying to help people, as opposed to just trying to just generate as much revenue as possible. And that's something that's very rare, very, very, very rare. So I've always really liked that, and that's why I've always been so repelled towards more transactional approaches to business. And that's all thanks to you. That's all thanks to the way you've run your business, the way you treat me, Jiraj, and anyone who comes into contact with Mission FX as a whole.
Sweet, man.
Oh, and by the way, you didn't mention Ruby as a team member, so that's
No, Ruby wasn't mentioned as a team member. She's still volunteering here.
oh, she's volunteering.
Yeah. Well, that's great, man. I can say the same about working with you. It's been really easy. One thing about you, it's funny how Stefan and I actually met. We met in 2019. My business was growing. My trading career was expanding very rapidly. And so Stefan messaged me on Instagram and said, "Do you sell a mentorship or a course?" And I was just like, "Yeah." And then he was like, he sent me this video, and it was like a pre-recorded video saying like, "Hey Nick, I'm basically an Instagram agent and I can help grow your Instagram and I can do this and that." And I remember for some reason, normally I wouldn't respond because I get like 1,000 of those messages a month from a bunch of people and companies trying to like offer, like broker affiliate partnerships and like different types of like services to grow the business and stuff like that. So normally I wouldn't respond, but the fact that he sent a video was just it's a step above the normal message like, "Hey Nick, let's hop on a call and I'll show you how I can grow your business." He actually sent a video message, but it wasn't like personalized. So I sent him 2 audio messages in 2019 whenever we first met on Instagram. And I basically said like, "Hey, this video sucks, dude. Like, it's not personalized. You didn't even use my name." And I just basically berated him. And then normally I wouldn't expect a response. And I don't know why I took the time to spend an extra 2 or 3 minutes to do that. But Stefan responded and said, "Thank you, bro." And I was like, whoa, like most people would just be like pissed off. And Stefan was like, then he started asking questions. And so then I started helping him more. And then we went on for maybe like an hour in chat. And then I told him, I was like, "Listen, bro, like, I'm busy. I have a lot of stuff to do." At that time, like my business we were doing like 50K a month and we were growing. I was like, "I just don't want to take the time to do this." So I was like, "If you really want to know, and I'll help you, but you have to pay something. So you have to PayPal me $100, then I'll hop on a call and we'll spend an hour working on things." And Stefan you had like what, $130 or something?
Yeah, I don't remember if I was finishing high school or if I was because in Italy high school is you finish like when you're 19, and I don't remember if I was finishing high school or I was just starting university, but I was broke. So I was like, I had money for my allowance mainly. My parents would give me a few $100 a month, if that, to just spend on random things. And I started dabbling. I was thinking, should I spend it? Should I not? Should I? And I was like, "Ugh, let's go. Let's give it a shot. Let's try it out." And then I remember you hopped on a call for like 2 hours, like just talking about, okay, so what's your business? What product are you offering? What's the bottleneck of your business? I remember I didn't even know what bottleneck meant back in the day. So you actually drew. You got like the little like drawing app, and you drew like a little funnel with its bottleneck and explained it all to me. You gave me so much good advice, but then you recommended a better, more personalized approach, which actually worked really well because then I used it and I did sign other clients, and yeah, and then from there we just kept talking. I kept updating you on things, and you kept giving me advice for free. You just kept giving me advice, like always encouraging me, like cheering for me. So and then like about a year later, you're like, "Hey man, you told me you told me like Mission FX was growing. We hopped on a call. You showed me everything, and the level of trust that you had towards me from the get go. That was also very, very that was something very interesting. Like you gave me passwords to the support immediately. Like, okay, so this is the login. Do this, and that. And you've always been like that. Like, you've always like given me the maximum amount of trust. So yeah, that's how it began, and then it's been a journey. It's been a journey with multiple different products, multiple different services offered throughout the years, multiple different approaches, multiple different tests. Some went well, some we learned from, and it's just and a continuous growth journey of iterating and changing things up, and then complicating things, and then dumbing them down and simplifying them, finding the best approach, all geared towards keeping things simple, just like your trading in general. Keep things simple as possible, focusing on the actual principal components which matter. So, like making sure that we always dedicate all the resources, all the time to the elements that actually move the needle forward and actually matter, such as customer experience, actually giving people what they need, as opposed to just throwing at them as much content and stuff as possible just so they think they've got a bang for their buck. So it's always been like that. It's very, very interesting. It's very cool. And it's a very unique way to run a very efficient business, which is very interesting, very interesting. And it's inspiring in a way. It's also refreshing because you don't see this very often. Like most businesses that have the bottom line that Mission FX has are way more complex. They have so much complexity, so many, so much bureaucracy, so many different elements that just make it more difficult and slow to take decisions, to make decisions to provide a service, and are more transactional, and we're talking about margin, and we need to make sure that we just focus on what actually matters, which is customer experience and making sure that people gain value, or at least that they're put in the position where if they pair it with enough hard work, dedication, and consistency, they can have the highest odds and chances of seeing success. And that's what actually matters, as opposed to just throwing them 50 hours of content that they would have to digest when things are just pretty simple at the end of the day.
Yeah, so I looked at a bunch of different ways to grow because when I brought Stefan on, so we'd known each other maybe like 10 months or so, and I messaged him in April of 2020. Mission FX, it was a one-man show. It was me, and then I had another person who was doing marketing. And we were doing, like, at that point, over $100,000 a month, and I was doing everything myself, basically, like client facing. So support emails, value delivery, content creation, curation, all that. So when I brought Stefan on, like, I tried to think of who I'd trust near my company. And most people, I couldn't like bring myself to be like, I don't know if it's a good fit. But the first person who popped up after like a day of thinking about it was Stefan. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, that sounds great. And it was interesting because you were a person who, even though you didn't have the skill sets yet and the know-how, you had the drive and the motivation. You were very coachable. And that's what I like. Like most of our clients who are successful at Mission FX, they're very coachable. They take the information, then they go and apply it. They test it for themselves. They learn all the nuances and subtleties, and then they're able to have success, whether it be trading or in business or in personal life. Having that mindset of being coachable is very, very valuable. And I recognize that because I was the same way, right? I was always focused on learning. I was okay with criticism. I didn't get my feelings hurt if someone told me like, hey, this is shit. Like, you need to really change this. So Stefan came on board. He started doing like client support via email. He would send people access. He would help people get set up. And sometimes he'd get on calls with people if they needed to get Discord set up or access to the program we were running. And it was really cool. What that ended up transitioning into, because that was back in 2020. So in that year, I was 25 and you were 20. When we met, I was 24 and you were 19. So in 2020, so we kept growing over the years. And I had wanted to try to get Mission FX to be a really, really profitable company with a lot of revenue. So I looked at one of the companies that has been one of the most successful companies on earth, which is Amazon.com. And I read all of Jeff Bezos' letters to shareholders. And the thing that kept sticking out to me over and over was his obsessive focus on the customer. So say what you will about Amazon and Jeff Bezos, you have to admit they're a successful company, right? And so one of his core tenets is obsessively focus on the customer, what's best for the customer. Even if it's not always best for the company still has to be profitable to have an incentive to keep running. But you need to make decisions that are aligned with what's best for the customer. And so that's been our number one tenet at Mission FX, is always do what's best for the customer. Now, we've fallen short at times and we've failed, and we've done a lot of experiments to try to make it better. And 9 out of 10 experiments we've run have actually failed. And there's only a couple of them that have ended up working, but they've paid off asymmetrically. So over the years, as things kept going, Stefan started to do sales calls. So his role transitioned into like an operating officer to like on the sales and client support end. And then we had value delivery, which was done by me, and then one of our coaches named Jiraj, who is a chief information officer for Mission FX. And so what Stefan did whenever he transitioned into sales calls, it was really interesting because I didn't give him a script. There was no scripts. I didn't tell him what he had to do. Like he already said, I didn't expect him to hit any quotas or anything like that. I said, just get on a call with a potential customer and just talk to them and ask them what they're looking for and see if you think they'd be a good fit. And if you think they'd be a good fit, you know, they're going to tell you if they want to join. We didn't do any sales tactics. We didn't have anything written down for like, this is what you say to counter objections.
Oof.
Because I hated that. I think it's so cringe.
Yeah.
And even if it means we're less profitable as a company, it means the clients that we do get, they're easier to work with. They're higher value to us, and also Mission FX is more value to them because, you know, they're not like being coerced through some sort of tactic to join. So Stefan would get on sales calls, and his role transitioned into kind of like sales, and he ended up getting really, really, really effective at it over the years to the point you had, I think it was basically like an 80% close rate.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
4 out of 5 clients, maybe 3 out of 4 clients. Maybe.
There was a time 10 people joined in a row.
Yeah.
10 people in a row. Like 10 calls, 10 sales.
What was that transition like as you started learning like sales? Like, I think there's a lot of people on here that may be like entrepreneurs, and part of it, every business owner's job is to make sure you're bringing in customers. So sales is a very valuable thing to learn in business.
Yeah.
What do you think are like, just maybe speak to that a little bit. What do you think is important to know if you're going to be doing sales?
I started, thanks to this experience, I started falling in love with sales and taking a very, very different approach to what majority of the sales coaches out there preach. I'm not saying that their stuff doesn't work. It's just for us, this worked so well, and I wouldn't see myself doing it any other way. Basically, at the beginning, we had this like the Mission FX full program, right? And we would offer it to clients, and it was a high ticket service. It was priced at around 3,000 initially, 3,000. Then it later went up to 5. Then we also added in the compounding course. But the interesting thing was that at the beginning, you did not give us like a strict script to follow. But since I didn't know any better, I did try to follow for the initial few calls a bit of a structure and outline. And I tried to research and find the best, read some books about sales, read some, just to get some more information about how to be efficient at sales in a way. And I noticed that it was so non-genuine. I felt like it was fake. I felt like it was just a copy-paste, cookie-cutter approach to a dance, which sales, I believe, is more like a dance rather than just forcing people to follow the steps, because we try to manipulate you into thinking that you need our service. And I did not like that. I did not like the approach of asking you, so Nick, what would it mean for you to actually become a profitable trader? Or hopping on the call and being like, all right, Nick, perfect. So the way this call is going to go is I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I'm going to ask you about this. This is the agenda. And after the call, you'll let me know if it's a yes or a no, but no maybes because I don't like maybes. So just tell me if it's a yes or a no. Okay, does that sound good? Yes. And then trying to get you to say yes multiple times, just so that at the end of the call you would say yes. That just felt so fake, so artificial, and just dehumanizing in a sense. Because you're having someone out there who took time out of their busy days. They have hopes, they have dreams. Because I have been on the other side of sales calls, and I know what that feels like. When I started working at Mission FX, I would try to really invest into my education. Like I would buy so many courses, so many programs, and I would be on the other side of sales calls. And so many of them were so fake. And I would not end up buying because of the sales guy. I would end up buying despite of the sales guy. So I didn't think that it was something that was a form of added value. Just following a cookie cutter script does not give value to the other person in any way. I might as well just have seen a VSL and just decided to buy or not to buy. So when we started following these principles, I really did not like them. So I gradually, it was a relatively slow process. I gradually moved towards the idea of, let's just try to meet this person who's from somewhere around the world. So they have probably some interesting stories. And that's, since I work in this company, I have some intel that they don't have. So let me give them value in a way. Let me try to give them some sort of value, and let me try to have fun in the call. Just so that whether they buy or not buy, at least we enjoyed our time together. I was able to give them some sort of value, some different perspective, since I have a very unique perspective being on the other side. And just let's have fun. Let's enjoy each other's company for 1 hour. And that's what ended up happening. And I was not tracking metrics. I was not tracking, okay, well, this is my close rate. But I would just send over the recordings of the call to our group chat. And after a while, you and Jiraj would start noticing, hey, bro, another one. Wow, another one. But it wasn't something I was thinking about. It wasn't something I was keeping track of. It just happened. And yeah, months went by, and I started enjoying them more and more. And people would enjoy them as well. Like, they would thank me after the call, like, hey, this is such a different type of call. Like, I'm not used to this. And they enjoyed it. And sometimes I would recommend them a less expensive product, even though they were maybe geared towards the full program. I was like, no, maybe you just need the compounding course. And they would appreciate it so much because they knew that I had their best interest at heart. I wasn't just trying to get as much money out of them as possible. I was trying to make sure that they would actually find value from their purchase. I feel like that was the key to high-performing sales approach. Of course, it's a very unique position. Like, we would only speak with qualified leads, like people who were actually following a certain income bracket, that were actually that they knew you already very well, and they knew what the product was about. So they were very qualified leads in a sense. It's not like we were reaching out to them and trying to get them on a call. So that's why I'm saying that this approach worked for us. I'm not saying that this is a universal approach everyone should implement. But there's certain principles that I think would be very valuable to anyone in sales, which is try to give as much value as possible for free, like you do on your YouTube or Telegram. And then speak with people who are already very interested, and don't mess it up, period. Give them value. Be genuine. Actually care about them. Like, have a Labrador interest towards people. Like, I have a Labrador, his name is Ralph, and he loves people. Like, as long as you say hi to him in a kind voice, he'll be all over you. He'll want to spend time with you and play with you. That's the same approach that I feel is very efficient in sales. Actually have genuine interest for people. Actually care about them in a way. Actually look for them not as a number, but as someone who has dreams, who has aspirations, who has struggled, who has gone through a bunch of stuff, who is ready to sacrifice their money to you because they trust you, in order for you to help them get a better life for them and for their loved ones. If you see people as that, it's very difficult to be manipulative towards them. It's very difficult to see them as someone you want to extrapolate as much money from. So yeah, that's the approach. It worked very, very, very well. I really enjoyed it. That's a key element also. I really had fun in those calls. It wasn't just, I have to hop on a call and just rehearse a script again. No, it was, okay, a guy from Japan, interesting. Very cool. Or maybe we would hop on a call, I'd be interested in the background. Like, hey, what's that painting? What's that? Do you play the guitar? Oh, that's interesting. We would talk about that. I remember majority of the calls, we would talk about the full program for 5 minutes. The remaining time is like, where are they from? Like, hey, interesting. I've also been there. Have you been to Italy? And we would chat and we would have fun. We would build trust in a very, very, very organic way. And then if it was the right thing to do, they would join. If it wasn't, then it wasn't. And I feel like it's just a branch. The sales approach was just a branch of the tree that is the set of principles inside of Mission Effects. I feel like the approach to sales that I use is just an extension of what the overall core values and principles of Mission Effects are, which is just that. Like giving value first, caring about customers, not forcing anything, keeping things simple, and being as organic, honest, real, transparent as possible. And this is just an extension of that. Like meeting you in person, like you're exactly like, it seems like I'm speaking to like a video. Like you're exactly the same person. Like we've of course only met virtually up until now, but you're so genuine. You're exactly the same. Like people would ask me on calls, "Hey, how is Nick?" I was like, exactly as you would see him on the YouTube videos. You're the same on the YouTube videos, on the Instagram Shorts or Reels, YouTube Shorts, Zoom live sessions, live person, on a one-on-one call, on a team call. You're the same. You're the same because you're very genuine. So you're very congruent. It's not like many other people, on the other hand, especially like certain influential personalities. There might be one person on the screen, but then when you meet them behind the screen, they're completely different. No, you're just a live video, YouTube video. So you're exactly the same. So this genuine approach is, I hope, is being transmitted also on sales calls and on every form of content that you put out. So yeah,
that's awesome, dude. Approach. I remember you telling me, just like one of the things you said, a lot of the calls, because they would go on for either like 5 to 10 minutes and someone just wanted to get down to it and they're like, I'm ready to buy, I just want you to get me set up, basically. Yeah. And you wouldn't even really do any selling, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. You would just basically help them get enrolled and process payment and everything. But then of the calls that would last like an hour or an hour and a half, I remember you telling me like a significant majority of the time, you were just chatting about life. Yeah. Like you just talk, and then like the last 5 minutes of it, they'd be like, oh yeah, I did have a question about the program. So like Nick does some of the mentorship, right? And you're like, yeah, we have a coach who does it, and then you can also book calls with Nick. Yeah. And they're like, okay, and how long is the program? And you're like, yeah, so we normally go for like 12 months. And so like it would just be like some basic questions, and they'd be like, all right, yeah, I'm ready to get started. And then for the people, Stefan's interesting because he would let them initiate the buying process. He would not try to guide them towards buying. So basically, like for people who wanted to enroll, they'd have to like ask Stefan and get Stefan's approval to enroll. And it was kind of funny. We used to make jokes how it's like the other way around. It's usually like a salesperson's trying to convince a person to buy, even if it's not the best for the customer, which is disgusting. But with Stefan, it was funny because the client or the potential client would have to convince Stefan to let them buy.
Yeah.
And there's been plenty of times. It's very few and far between because we would have a proper qualifying process with the application beforehand. But where Stefan would actually tell clients like he doesn't think it's the best option for them. And he just told them like, maybe you should just follow Nick's free YouTube content and Telegram content and maybe not buy the course, or recommend them a different product that was a better fit for what they needed. Because we were running the subscription at the time for the close friends group, the Discord group. We were running the compounding course, which was a lower priced offer for people that already had the basics down, and the full program, which was just comprehensive, everything start to finish with the mentorship. And I remember you would kind of fit them in and then kind of explain, well, there's this other product over here that might be a better option for you. This is what it comes with and things like that. So yeah, it's been a really cool, fun process. It's basically just like growing and seeing everything like grow and thrive. That's been super, super interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Man, it's pretty wild.
It's crazy. Yeah, and it's so funny. Like there's people who would say like, hey, yeah, I want to buy the full program, but I already know all the basics. I already know all this, and that. But I have my last $3,000 I can invest. I'm like, no.
Stefan's microphone fell off, so we had to get it set up. So now he's good. All right.
No, it's good. No, so in general, yeah, the whole approach is just to try to find the best fit for them, whether it's with us, whether it's with someone else. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Your approach to trading is very unique. It's very simple. It has so many pros, but it's not for everyone. So just trying to sell everyone on the same approach is not the best thing. There's also the very interesting thing that trading is not for everyone. And on top of that, not everyone is in the ideal position to trade. If you're in debt and you're in a very difficult financial situation, you just lost your job and you're hoping that trading will be the fix for your short-term financial needs, that's very, very risky. And for me to come and say, yes, you can make it happen, will be so fake and so, it's not what an ally would do to you. So that's also the approach that I would try to be an ally towards them. Like it's not me here and you here. It's us together analyzing your options. And this is a very universal sales principle that I think would be ideal. In an ideal case scenario, people would not hard sell. They would give so much value for free. And they would build authority by giving value. Then customers would just gear towards them. And then for the right ones, there would be the perfect match where money would be exchanged in exchange for services or mentorship or whatever it is. So that's the ideal approach that I would implement in sales for any business, to be honest. The biggest businesses, that's how they work. It's not like Tesla goes and knocks at people's door. Hey, do you want to buy a Tesla? Yeah, but I'm $100,000 in debt. Oh yeah, but you should still buy the Tesla. But my car works fine. Yeah, but you should still buy your Tesla. No, you, whenever the time is right, you go towards them, and that's how it works. And that's the most ethical approach. I'm not saying Tesla is the most ethical. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that in general, that's the most ethical approach towards sales. And yeah, rarely do ethics in a long enough time horizon deviate from performance. At least it's been our case.
It has been our case. It's been a lot of fun, like running everything over the past few years. Mission FX has been a company. We incorporated in 2020, so 6 years ago, but we were running it since basically 2019, like officially when we got everything properly set up. Before that, it wasn't really structured. It was like a Facebook group chat. It's just me. I would basically just live trade every morning in there, and we had like, I don't know, like 50 clients in there. But we set everything up properly in 2020, and then we started to scale, which was really cool. So though it's been fun for both of us, and we have a lot of good things to say about it, what would you say, if you're just being intellectually honest, has been like one of the hardest parts or most challenging parts about doing what you do in your role at Mission FX?
I believe people are very similar to their dogs, in a sense. So again, I have this Labrador, and he loves people. He loves people. He loves other dogs. Sometimes the dogs don't love him back. But I'm very similar to that. I enjoy being around people. And that's why I love sales calls so much. Because I would speak with a random person from the other side of the world. But sometimes, like working at a business remotely does not give you this human connection. That I would say is probably one of the most challenging, if we had to say, parts of my career here at Mission FX. Like the lack of this personal one-on-one connection, live connection with people. But I understand that's the nature of the business, and thankfully the three of us have a very good relationship, so we're always chatting, we're always in contact with each other. But yeah, if I had to pinpoint it, I had to really find the I would say in Italian, il pelo nell'uovo, which means like it doesn't make much sense, but it's like the hair inside of the egg. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the issue. I would say probably that. That's the only thing. But apart from that, I feel extremely lucky because at the end of the day, yes, there's not that human connection, but there's all this flexibility that goes around it that kind of makes up for it in a way. So that's the only little thing. But apart from that, it's just been amazing. Like you're a very, very good CEO. You're very good. You have very good values, very good principles, and you're very good at living them in the first place and leading by example. Like everything that you expect from us, you do in the first place. You expect quality, but you everything you do, you try to make it as high quality as possible. So there's no hypocrisy in that. There's always very strong congruence between what you expect from us and what you do in firsthand. So I cannot say anything bad about working at Mission FX in general. It's been such a crazy journey. Like you have engineered in a very organic way so much loyalty. I remember, I can even give this example. Like there's this Italian company. They work in trading, and a good friend of mine had very good contacts with them.
I remember that. Yeah, you told me about this a year ago.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, bro, like these guys, they're expanding. They want a sales guy. You'd be the perfect fit for them." And I remember hopping on a call with them, and they really liked this approach to sales. They really liked my approach to it in general. Of course, I had the most perfect experience in that position, since I had done exactly that for years inside Mission FX. And they offered me a position there. They were really eager towards it. They were really keen towards it. But then I was speaking with my father, because I didn't think much of it initially. I didn't think it could be something that could potentially cause issues. But then I was brainstorming with my father about it, and he was like, "Hey, have you thought about Nick? Like, what would Nick think about it?" And I started thinking, and kind of analyzing the situation, how it would play out. And very likely, had I asked you, you would have probably said, "Yeah, for sure, man, no worries." But the possibility that you would have taken that, and by the way, it was a completely different market, even. It was mainly the Italian market. Oh, but I believe also it would have been in English. I don't know. Just a slight possibility that you would have taken that as a betrayal on the loyalty that you have given me. Just that small percentage chance that would have somehow jeopardized, even by a little bit, the quality of a relationship and the amount of trust you would have given me and you have always given me, just made me say no, you know what, I'm good. And I could have taken both in parallel, worked with both at the same time, and nobody would have found out. But just a possibility that you would have seen that as a way to betray the loyalty and the friendship and the trust made me want to say no, don't worry. And it was ready. Like they had sent me contracts just to sign. I was about to get everything up and ready. And I said no. I said no, I'm good. I could have made more money just pairing both things together, but I didn't care about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what if Nick takes this as a betrayal, as a small betrayal, or as a big betrayal? I don't know. I didn't want to take the risk. I didn't want to play my odds. So I just said no to them, and they reached out multiple times. They would send me huge messages like, "Hey, dude, we'll pay you this, and that." I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." Yeah, but there's no need. It's like the clientele is different. They would try to really get me to work with them, but I was like, "No, I'm good." And I remember that was not at a time where Mission Effect was at its peak.
Mm.
So it could have been like potentially a sound financial decision, but no. That's why ethics sometimes it plays out in the long run. Loyalty plays out in the long run. And that's all because you have engineered this properly. It's not because I'm this super loyal, amazing person. Like yeah, I care about my ethics. I care about the people that I love and everything. But it's also because you've been able, through your genuine leadership, to engineer this loyalty. And you've done it not in a manipulative, crazy, weird, cult-like way, which many people do, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Many businesses, especially when they're led by a personal brand that is the face of the business, they develop this cult-like following and this cult-like environment around the core person. But you've developed it by inverting the pyramid. And that is a very cool thing that I appreciate about your form of leadership. Like from the get-go, you've always said, hey, there's a hierarchy. There's a team, there's clients, and then there's me. And this is totally inverted in most businesses. It's first shareholder value. Then there's customers, and then there's a team. And you've completely inverted that, which is very, very refreshing. And the outcome of that is very, very strong loyalty from your team. So that's a very refreshing approach and a very efficient one, I would say. So,
Yeah, we rolled into, I remember it was a couple of years ago, we shifted from a flat monthly payment rate because Stefan and then one of our other team members, Jiraj, they were salaried, right? So they received a set amount every month, regardless of what the business did. However, to incentivize the business to continue growing and to motivate everyone, we switched to basically a revenue equity sharing model, where every month, whatever the business does, from top line revenue, the amount of actually receivables we've had, each employee gets 10% of that. The rest of the money in the business gets the corporate tax paid, and then all of our expenses, like we've got corporate insurance, we've got all of our softwares we use, website payments, managing the back end for all clients and email addresses. And so there's all this stuff, but after that, like it'd be 10% of revenue per month gets split between the team. And which was really good because when we had, like right after we did that, I remember the next year, 2023, we had like the best year ever in revenue.
yeah.
And so at one point, like you and Jiraj each were making like $15,000 to $20,000 a month.
Yeah.
And you guys took that trip to what, Budapest or something?
Yeah, we went to Budapest.
Yeah.
Because
So,
before meeting you, I did meet up with Jiraj. And maybe there'll be a time where the three of us can talk more about that. But we've met multiple times already with Jiraj. He's such a cool guy. Now he's somewhere around the world. I probably don't even know where he is. Maybe in Thailand. But yeah, I remember that month very well.
yeah, it was a good year. And so it motivates everyone to work whenever you incentivize people that work with you on your team. That's really cool. Yeah, Jiraj, I wish he could come at some point. Like, I got to
Yeah.
get over to Europe at some point. I've never been, which is really funny. A lot of people ask me, Nick, why don't you travel? And I just don't. Up until maybe a month ago, I haven't really enjoyed traveling. So for the past half a decade, literally since 2021, it's 2026 now, I have not taken a trip more than maybe an hour away from where I live in Fort Worth, Texas. I just haven't, because I just haven't felt like it. I just don't really enjoy traveling. But we started going to Aspen this summer. So we've done that. We just got back like 3 weeks ago. Stefan has to make a stop in Kansas City. So Stefan's going there, and then we're gonna link up, me, Stefan, my wife Bonnie, and some friends. We're gonna link up in Aspen again and just hang out for like a week in the mountains and go hiking, and we're gonna work there and get creative and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. But it'd be cool to get Jiraj in here as well. Jiraj has worked for me for 5 years, worked for the company for 5 years. Stefan and I, we interviewed like dozens of applicants. Admission FX gets like probably like a couple hundred applicants per year. And by that, I just mean people emailing us, messaging us, DMing us, asking if there's anything they can do for work. Because a lot of people want to be a part of the team, but we've kept it really, really lean because it means for the team that I do have, we're all cross-trained and we're able to work in a bunch of different facets of the business. So that way, if Jiraj can't work or something, or there was a time where Stefan got horribly sick for like a week, me and Jiraj had to take over all of Stefan's work, right? So onboarding clients and responding to emails, making sure everybody's set up. Those onboarding calls that you do with all of our clients who join the MFX Next Trades group. So it's cool that we're all cross-trained, and it means I can pay the team that I have really, really, really well. And then we get to do cool things, and we get to create a lot of value for our customers, and everything's all integrated. There's not like this person's in finance, this person's in accounting, this person's in advertising. Instead of that, we're able to do everything really cohesively. And so the company, though we do a large amount of revenue, we move like a startup. We have that like heartbeat and soul of like a smaller company that is able to quickly make decisions, experiment. We're agile. We have the freedom to implement and be creative. And I really like that about it. It's kept things really, really cool to just have like a small, lean team. Jiraj is really cool though. It's worked for us for.
It was amazing.
For us. Yeah, like.
And it was such an easy decision. I remember.
Yeah, because you interviewed how many people? Like a lot.
Yeah, I interviewed quite a few people, and they were all like, on paper they were really good. I'm sure they're great people. They're fantastic. But with him, it was such an easy decision I remember hopping on a call with him, and after the call, I sent you the recording of it, and immediately we both agreed on the same person, and he's been amazing ever since. He's um he's very well versed in the technical sides of trading, even on the technical operational sides of Mission FX with regards to delivering so much value and order to clients and keeping track of everything. He's fantastic. He's I would say he has a perfect mix between the German efficiency
Oh yeah.
and the Indian warmth. He's such a polite guy. He's very kind, very generous. He's amazing. He's amazing. We've met multiple times all around the world. We've met in Milan. We've met in Budapest. We've met in Croatia. We've met in Rome. We've met quite a few times, and yeah,
Yeah, and
it's always
Gerard,
a blast.
he kind of lives all over too. That's one thing. He's most creative and most productive whenever he's traveling. So he grew up. He was born in, I believe, Germany. Was he born in India or Germany?
I think he was born in India.
Okay, well, but his parents are German, right? So he basically grew up in Freiburg.
No, his parents are Indian.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. So he's Indian, but he speaks German and Hindi and English all proficiently, and he doesn't really have an accent, I don't think.
No.
But he has a place in Zagreb, Croatia. He's got a place in Budapest. Sometimes he goes to Ibiza every now and then. Ibiza. He'll go stop by Rome to see Stefan, and then now, I think like a month ago, he just got a visa for I think 5 years to live in is it Bangkok, Thailand?
Yeah, like in Thailand, somewhere in Thailand.
He's all over.
He's all over the place.
We all share locations on Find My for iPhone, so we're always seeing garages in various spots all over Europe. But he's just been traveling, right? Because his work is remote, and as long as he's productive and getting his work done, it doesn't matter where he's at. So he travels a lot. Stefan probably travels the second most of us, and then I'm now getting into traveling. Just now starting to leave my box and go and travel a little bit.
Well, okay, so coming here has been very interesting because before I would also think the same thing, like, hey, like I feel like you're missing out. Like there's so many beautiful places that you could be going to and visiting, but after coming here, you have a very cool setup. You have a very optimized setup. You have a beautiful home. You have everything that is so comfortable, so convenient, so close, so optimized in order to perform at your best. And I notice that other cities do not allow for that in the same way. Other cities kind of give you this fear of missing out that just keeps you distracted from what really matters. So I can see why you like Forward so much. Like you have a clear idea, you know what your priorities are, you have a very clear way to discern what matters and what doesn't. So you've engineered your life around the things that you care about the most, which in this case is your family, Bonnie, your friends, your close friends, your work, your health, your fitness, and you've geared and you've engineered a whole setup, a whole lifestyle that is congruent with how you would prioritize the various areas of your life. Majority of people don't do that. Majority of people will say, yeah, my priorities are my family, my work, but they live in a way that is completely different from that. They live in a city where just walking around, there's so much friction, so much distraction. They hang out with people that kind of gear them towards things that are not their priority. So I can understand why you don't love to travel because you have a very nice and optimized setup here. So it's understandable.
Yeah, I never feel the need for a vacation, honestly. I love my life. Like I love my daily life so much that whenever I've been traveling over the past like 9, 10 years, because I used to travel like multiple times a year up until basically 2021, where I was like, this is just not fun anymore. I'd rather just work, which sounds crazy to people. They're like, yeah, you can't always be working, you gotta enjoy life. And I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, I love what I do. I work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and have for the past 10 years, basically. And to me, it's fun. For me, like, it mattered to me early on to like create an environment where I had fun thriving from a personal and from a productivity and business perspective. I love thriving, and I feel my best when I'm productive, when I'm producing, when I'm creating value for the world and sharing that. That means the most to me, and it gives me the most dopamine. So the idea of going and laying on a beach and drinking a margarita, or just going and like, I don't know, seeing like, like the Parthenon in Greece, or the Colosseum in Rome. I don't know. It's cool and it sounds cool, but I'm like, is it really that much where I need to take a week or 2 weeks away from my life to go do it? And I see it and I'm like, oh, cool. To me, it's just never been worth it. I've always been like, I'd rather be at home. So Stefan, over the past few days, has kind of seen like the way that I live personally and how I structure my days and my sleep and my productivity, clean diet, exercise, things like that. Um, and it matters a lot when you create a life that you don't feel like you need a vacation from, and a life where you don't really want to take a vacation from. My vacation is like every day. Like I get to like I work whenever I want. I stop working whenever I feel like it. I go on a walk, I go work out, I get some lunch, I go get a coffee, and I basically just do whatever. And it's fun for me because then the moment I'm like, okay, I've had my fun for a couple hours. Now I feel like getting back to work. So it recharges me. And then I get back to work, and it's how I'm able to put in like 10 to 12 hour days every day, and be there for my clients, always being like responding really quickly in Discord and emails and messages, and making sure clients are taken care of. That to me is really cool. It's really rewarding. And also, I know for you, you kind of have your day set up to be productive whenever you're in Rome, at least. What do your days kind of look like your work days?
I've tested so many things out. I've tested waking up extremely early, and that has its pros and cons. I've tested out having a more balanced approach. I really enjoy working. I really enjoy getting my hours of focus on my own. Like if I need to focus on something and really solve an issue or really move the needle forward, I discovered to accept the sacrifice of just sitting down, eliminating distractions, just putting my headphones on and grinding for a few hours. That I've learned to appreciate, and I find great satisfaction in it. But I also do enjoy working in common areas. So maybe in the morning I would work at home and just remove all distractions, and then maybe in the evening after lunch, I would just go to a library and just work there. We don't have coffee shops where you work in Italy. It's not a thing.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's not like you can just go to a coffee shop because we don't have long coffees. We just have the espresso. So people just go there, they sip their espresso, and then they leave. And yeah, so whenever I want to just be around people, and maybe I meet up with someone or go with my brother, we would go to the libraries and just hang around there and work on the less demanding tasks and just do that.
Where do you do most of your calls from? Is it from home or like a library or what?
It depends. It depends. I would say majority. No, I would say half and half. Probably half and half. Because due to the time zone, usually they're around my lunchtime slash early evening. So that's probably the time where I'm going towards the library, usually. So it's in between. I would probably do a few at home, a few in the library, someplace where I can find some quiet, and yeah, just spend some time welcoming people who join Mission FX, people who join Next Trades, having fun with them, seeing why they joined, what brought them towards this ecosystem, what brought you towards your trading, and just have fun with them and try to answer any questions they might have, try to deliver any sort of advice that me or mainly Jiraj can give, and yeah, that's usually it.
It's cool. I'm really interesting with the way I work. Like, I get my best work done where I'm most creative whenever I'm just isolated. So I'll go into my home office here.
Yeah.
I'll turn off all the lights. I'll turn on my task lights just in front of my desk, which is these big, like basically box lights. So they're softbox lighting. And then I just work, and I feel like I can get cozy and I can really get settled in and get into flow state. And for me, flow state comes maybe 10 to 15 minutes in. I just have to sit down and then just start, and then I just get lost in it. And it was even back in 2023 when we had our best year ever. Do you remember what my office was?
Was it your closet?
It was a closet.
Yeah.
It was a walk-in closet, probably like as long as like the couch we're sitting on from over there all the way to here.
Yeah.
And I would go, it was just a big walk-in closet.
Yeah.
I would shut the door, and then I would work in there sometimes for 4, 5, 6 hours without like getting up. And then I would do that from like 5 a.m. in the morning. And then I would come out around like 10 or 11 a.m., sometimes like noon. I'd see the light of the world, and then I'd go and get lunch, and then I'd go have a cigar, and then I'd come back and work again for like another 4 hours or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody has like different ways that they're most productive. Some people like being like open environment like this, like on the top of the building where I live. We're in the penthouse, and so it looks out over all the tree line, the skies you can see for miles and miles and miles. For me, if I try to work out here too often, I can do simple stuff like responding to Discord messages and stuff like that. But I find myself more productive if I'm like isolated. And whenever I'm in public, like I think we talked about this at the coffee shop yesterday. We went to get coffee, and you're like, "Do you ever come here and work?" And I'm like, "No, I really don't," because being around other people while I'm trying to work, my brain gets too stimulated, and then it just gets distracting for me. And plus, obviously, I can't like record YouTube videos and stuff when I'm out like in a public place. It would just be too distracting to the other people and me. So yeah, I just basically isolate myself, and I'm alone, and I'll record videos. And I also don't script anything. I've tried before. I've done a few videos where I've scripted it, done all the scenes, edited it, and I found it doesn't even perform as well as me just making content where I just hit record the video, and then upload the raw file. That, I mean, even if it gets fewer views, it gets us more clients, and it delivers more value as compared to like drawn out scripting and editing and putting all this shit together.
It makes sense.
It's a grind.
Makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Because people join because they like your training approach, but also because they resonate with you. And when you're free flowing and you're genuine, people can actually grasp to your particular personality and the things that make you unique. And they grasp onto that. And they feel a connection towards you. So it makes sense. It makes sense. When it's just too artificial, it doesn't perform as well. People don't have anything to grasp on. They just feel like it's very curated and very corporate in a sense. So they cannot kind of see themselves reflected in you in a way. Something very interesting is that when we hop on calls, there's this interesting client avatar that always reminds us of you in a sense. We mentioned this oftentimes with Joe. Like there's something that about having your own personal brand and having your business revolve around that you attract people who are very similar to you. And that's also a key as to why being genuine is so important. Because people won't, not just any random person is going to be drawn to you, but someone who sees themselves in you or that aspires to be more like you in a sense. So that's very interesting. That's a very interesting approach as well. Which makes sense.
Sure is.
Yeah.
It's so cool to finally meet you in person, man.
No, it's a pleasure, bro. It's really it was due. I feel like it was due.
It was over half a decade.
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy that we were able to make it happen. I appreciate you a lot, man. Like you know that you're family to me. You're like I consider you one of my best friends. Like you've shown me levels of kindness that I have yet to see somewhere else.
Wow.
Like you've been so understanding of me, never, always constructive. I've messed up so many things. Like our collaboration together has been great overall, but I've made my mistakes over the years. I've had my shortcomings, but you've never made me feel bad because of it. You've always coached me in a very constructive, uplifting way. You've always shown me such crazy levels of generosity, of kindness, of detached kindness, like not a manipulative kindness, but just pure care and trying to take care of the people you care about. So I'm honored to be a friend of yours, and I appreciate you for everything you've done to me. Like everyone who's close to me knows you very, very well.
Oh yeah.
Everyone who's close to me knows you very, very well because of all the great things I always talk about you. And that's because you've genuinely been such a positive force in my life. So I'm very grateful to you, very appreciative of you. And that's why you've earned every bit of loyalty that I have towards you. So yeah, bro.
Same vice versa, man.
Yeah,
It was great chatting.
bro.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.